Today we're going to use Flash to create some basic animation, and we're going to save to a SWF file, an MOV file, and an animated GIF file, all using Flash. So let's start. We'll create a Flash file using ActionScript 2.0. This will be a brand new file. And when you open Flash, you'll see the timeline on the top and the stage on the bottom. And you start off with an empty keyframe in Flash. You notice the red playhead is sitting on frame number 1. And we're looking at the stage right now, and it's empty. And we're going to use the text tool and place some text on that stage. So let's type the word wonderful, and as you do that you'll notice the keyframe is no longer a blank. It is now filled in. And here's our word wonderful, and you can change some of the properties in the property inspector. And we're going to press Command B. Now we're on a Macintosh today, so Command B we'll use to break apart the text, and we'll press it twice. And what we end up with is these beautiful vector graphics. And the word wonderful is no longer editable using the text tool. And we use the selection tool now to move the graphics around. And we can stretch them, we can rotate them, we can do all kinds of things with them. We can color the individual graphics. Now, using the transform tool, we can skew and rotate and stretch the graphic objects. And we'll start with the W here. We've just tugged on the lower bottom anchor just to enlarge that. Then in the property inspector we added the blue color. Using the selection tool, we've taken the vowels out of the word, and we're just going to shuffle them around for fun and color all the letters. So by using the selection tool and the transform tool, we can move the characters around, and then we can stretch them, rotate them, and skew them using these two tools. And here we're using the transform tool to stretch the L. Now we're about to animate this object, so we'll use the selection tool and we'll drag over all of the characters in the word. And what we want to do is group them. So Command G, because we're on a Mac today, Command G to group. And you'll notice the blue rectangle surrounding the word. That indicates that we've grouped it. And we want to align this to the stage. So we make sure to stage is selected, and we want to align in the center. So we click the two center buttons in the align area of this panel. So now wonderful is centered on the stage, and what we're going to do now is create a motion tween in the timeline. So we need another keyframe. You always need 2 keyframes for an animation. So on frame 24 we want to insert a keyframe, and in this case we in fact do hold the control key down, and that reveals a drop down menu, and we select insert keyframe. And with the selection tool on the first frame, we select Tween, Motion Tween in the property inspector, and we want to ease in -100, and we're going to rotate counterclockwise 1 times. So we're going to let Flash actually do all these in-betweens for us. And when you've done that, you'll see a purple bar and an arrow pointing from the first keyframe to the last keyframe. That indicates you've done it successfully. Under the control menu, select Test Movie, and you can watch your wonderful animation. And Flash actually creates all these in-between frames for you, so it really takes care of a lot of work. Now what we want to do is create a continuation of this forward animation and then reverse the frames. So what we're going to do is select frame 1 through 24, make sure that's all selected, hold down Control and select Copy Frames, and make sure you've clicked on frame 25 because we're going to do a paste here, and hold down Control and paste the frames right after the previous frames there. So now we have from frames 1 to 24 going forward, and from 25 to 48 we're about to modify timeline, reverse the frames on that last group. And so save your file. So now we have forward and backward, and we're about to publish this file. We're going to publish to a SWF this time. So in Publish Settings, make sure the type has been selected as flash.swif. Then click OK and then Publish, and you've created a SWF file. And we can put that into Dreamweaver. Now what we also want to do is export this movie as a QuickTime movie. So make sure the format is now indicating QuickTime, and you have a drop-down menu you can select from, and there's the word QuickTime, so make that selection. And also make sure you name your file, and the extension should be .mov for our QuickTime movies. Now let's imagine we want to create an animated GIF, so we want to change from the QuickTime setting to the animated GIF setting. So again, using that drop-down menu, select animated GIF, and in this case the extension is GIF.gif. So when you're finished, you have created a SWF file by publishing, and you have exported an MOV and an animated GIF. Have a great day.